Hi, and a very good morning to you all. In today's episode of the State of the Union, I shall enunciate on how an SME, a small and medium enterprise in this country, in India, can survive the recessionary phase or the slow economic growth, something which I anticipate to last till circa 2022, the second quarter of 2022. And as in everything else, it's a very simple process, provided the entrepreneur has an uncluttered mind, which I believe is the greatest asset to face the recessionary times. I shall enunciate now on a simple four-step method, a very, very simple four-step method, and provided it is followed, you can take it from me that entrepreneurs will be one up in the game in facing these very tough times. I understand these times are very tough. It is a situational dictate which need not have happened. But nonetheless, let's not do a hindsight 2020 analysis. We are in the situation right now, and the best thing we can do is to exercise the power of now by working astutely and adroitly to ensure that we stay afloat till 2022. It's a simple four-step method, and as most things, the first thing is in planning. The entrepreneur should take time off his busy schedule to work out a sensible plan for the next 2.5 years. And whilst doing so, he has to ensure that core competencies are addressed. Core competencies simply mean the prowess that his SME enterprise has, his or her SME enterprise has, in terms of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial abilities. So, having decided on the four-quotient formula and which of the four quotients he or she has a superior prowess, the pecking order theory should be followed, and a maximum emphasis should be paid on the core competency, and this would be a great enabler in facing these tough times. As an indicative archetype, let us assume that the particular SME entrepreneur does not have a paucity of capital, and this should ensure that there is no complacency and that the money is invested most efficiently. That is the key, most efficiently. Edges them generous in the other factors as well, be it land, human capital, or entrepreneurial ability, or the labor. The emphasis should be on harnessing the innate talent in the area to maximum potential. This is the time when an SME entrepreneur can prove to the world that his leadership or her leadership is at its very best. And this is the time that SME leadership ought to evolve to the next level. So planning is the key coefficient. Having decided on what the core strengths are, the constraints and the restraints, a matrix has to be worked out in such a way that the plan is evolved to meet contingencies and, more importantly, to take advantage of certain situations and situational dictates that might crop up. So having efficaciously planned, the next step is in communicating the idea of the plan to the stakeholders, which include family members, which include the employees who are also family members, and which include the customers and the vendors. The entire ecosystem has to be sensitized about the plan going forward for the next 2.5 years. And in doing so, the entrepreneur should ensure that the firmness of his ideation vis-a-vis the plans are made known to all. This would be very helpful because it will provide for clarity in a complex world. And to do this, the entrepreneur should first and foremost have an uncluttered mind. He should be able to take firm decisions based on his plan. Some of the decisions could go wrong. Nonetheless, he should not shy away from decision taking at this point in time. I repeat, decisions can go wrong. Nonetheless, after working out the various permutations and combinations and after doing his homework thoroughly, the entrepreneur should ensure that a decision is taken. So this is the next step, to communicate the ideation of the plan to all the stakeholders, because this would make it known to everyone as to where the entrepreneur stands vis-a-vis the enterprise per se. This leads to the next and a very important step, which is that of budgeting. And in terms of budgeting, the entrepreneur should lead from the front. All his expenses should be brought to virtual zilch, absolute rock bottom minimum. He should lead by example. The entrepreneur should set the trend. So this is the only way he can do it. And the way it has to be done ought to be in a very sensible manner. Transparency would be part of the deal, and in such a case scenario, he can simply draw an expense chart and make it known to everybody in his establishment as to where the enterprise stands, as to how much of top line growth or top line per se is there, how much of that has gone into expenses, and out of that, how much has been his expenses. When I say his, it also means his family and so on and so forth, his lifestyle. This is a time when the entrepreneur's lifestyle should be absolutely of a low order. He should ensure that there is absolutely no ostentatiousness, and that the bare minimum alone is something which he would have to live by. And this is also the time when the entrepreneur should pamper his employees. In these tough times, he should ensure that the employees are taken very, very well care of. And if this happens, you can be rest assured that the motivational levels of the organization will be at an all-time high, and both the stakeholders and customers would gain as a natural corollary. And this leads me to my final point, which is all about proactive thinking. Proactive thinking is a mindset wherein the entrepreneur leads the organization with an idea of the future that is encompassing, in the sense that even though there are going to be tough times for the next 2.5 years, the entrepreneur should ensure that he creates the necessary bonhomie to make the entire ecosystem believe in the enterprise. This is the key to winning in the next 2.5 years. The entrepreneur should do all that he can to ensure that the entire ecosystem believes in the enterprise. And when that happens, proactive thinking becomes a very, very natural and logical upshot. This is the key, and this is what defining leadership is all about. So, having made my 4-point assertion about facing recessionary times, I respectfully submit the same to all of you for consideration, and please accept my best wishes for the next 2.5 years. Thank you so very much. It was wonderful addressing you all.